So with that said, let's drop in and connect with our deep self. So what I like to encourage people to do is to close their eyes, to get comfortable, and begin with our breath. So you want to breathe deeply, which means really open your diaphragm, fill your diaphragm, hold it for a moment, and release. You want to just adopt a easygoing but really full kind of breath work. So you want to again breathe in, hold it, and breathe out, letting it fully extend out of you. And as we're doing this, continuing with that breath work, we begin to notice how our nervous system is calming down, that our body begins to regulate, our heart rate becomes slower, and eventually our breath begins to take on this rhythm. So we are choosing to be intentional with our breath, and then it kind of takes on this pattern. We notice our bodies being relaxed and our nervous system being calm. And we want to take a moment to tap into the field all around us in terms of the space that you find yourself in. So the room that you're in, what is your relationship with that room? That might be a funny thing to think about initially, but there is a field awareness in the room. It's the residual leftover of all of the energetic interactions. So whenever we have interactions with people, we are impacting the field, and a place takes on an energetic signature as a result of all of those interactions. So you want to calm yourself, still yourself, feel the space around you, and tap into your relationship with that space. What energetic pattern does the space hold in relation to you? And this can make us aware to be intentional about the kind of activities, the kind of way of being that we demonstrate in our space so that we can cultivate these sacred places. People go to different parts of the world that where people have prayed or held intention for decades or sometimes millennia, and they can feel it in that place. Some of those places are known as thin places because they are so regularly tapping into more subtle, higher realities that there's a pregnant kind of sense of that in the field, especially when you quiet your mind, quiet your senses. So cultivating this relationship, this awareness, we're expanding our awareness of ourselves, of the field we're connected to, of each other. And then finally, we want to, with this breath, again, still doing the deep in breath and releasing, that with the in breath, we want to picture ourselves pulling in this essential, clean energy through and having it flow through and infill our entire body. So with the in breath, in addition to oxygen, you are pulling in this essential energy and you're following that energy with your consciousness throughout your body. So you follow it down through your chest, your abdomen, down to your feet, and back up again. And you can begin to notice this kind of figure eight pattern, or actually what I encourage people to do is notice what pattern you see, because it'll be different for different people. This is how we tap into and extend these capacities by watching and noticing what's happening. And with the out breath, we are letting go of anything superfluous, anything residual. Speaking of that residual energy I mentioned earlier that we might be hanging on to, we can even hold an intention without knowing specifically what is unnecessary or residual. Just hold an intention to release whatever is not helpful, what doesn't feed this holistic well-being. So with the in-breath, taking this essential energy flowing through the crown chakra and following that through your body, even tuning in microscopically to how every cell of your body, like iron filings in the presence of a magnet, align to that deep sense of purpose and identity, this overall soul sense that channels through with energy that's always clean and undistorted, that exists outside of space-time. So letting this infill your body and holding an intention for health and well-being in your body, knowing just as we do with the placebo effect that the way we hold this intention in our mind, the thoughts we entertain, change our physiology. So we want to take the time to very proactively choose health and well-being. We want to picture flow happening in our veins, releasing of blockages. And we want to call to attention every aspect of our physiology down to the smallest cell to align to this central sense of identity that's channeling through in really clean energy through the crown chakra. And you can watch this energy again flow through the top of your head down to your feet and back up again. You can also let this energy that's moving in that pattern become like a sphere of light that's encasing your body, which allows you again to practice a kind of spiritual hygiene going into the world as well as into these non-ordinary states, these more subtle realities with this protection, this field of protection around you. And that's all we need to do to tap into protection is to tap into our highest self, our essential energy, and let that enfold us. And that will also create this harmonic emittance that goes into reality that will find harmonic resonance with other beings, other intelligences. So just let that flow happen. Notice the directionality of it. Be aware of your breath. And then when you've gotten to the point where you feel this movement has completed itself and that this sphere of light is kind of taken on a life of its own, and that movement can happen without having to give conscious intention to it, you can draw yourself within, ground yourself, hold this intention, practicing this fairly regularly so that we are going through the world with this protection and with this clear essential energy, helping to clarify our intention and determine our actions. And from that place of integration and grounding, knowing that this is continuing, we can rest in that reality and open our eyes.